Alright, today's Unshaven Mess is brought to you by Grape Nuts, because every rugged man needs a good meal. I don't know. That's your next ad campaign, Grape Nuts. Well, you're welcome. Anyway, today, welcome today. Welcome. It's Saturday. It's the end of week 4. I'll be meeting with Roberta tomorrow to begin week 5. And because of my lack of time, you're seeing the intro video to the next part, which is the interview with Roberta. That's the beginning of week 4. So at the beginning of week 4, I was weighing in at 485. I just weighed in again with not a lot of exercise, because you saw the confessional. I was out for 4 days, and I got 3 days of half-hour walking in, and I'm down to 481.3 according to the scale. So the same scale in the same situation. That's cool. So a week and almost 4 pounds of weight loss. So I like that, and that's not bad. At least it's doing something. And honestly, I barely worked out. It was 3 days so far of half hour each day at lunchtime. But I got that nailed down, which I told you about last time. Anyway, this is the video for week 4. And you're about to see it with Roberta, and enjoy some grape nuts while you're watching. It's a great little breakfast. Add a little honey, a little brown sugar.
Hey, welcome back to week 4 with Roberta Burkhart with YourWeightYourLife.com. We're going to be discussing today session 4 in this booklet, nutritional labels, and a few other things. As you know by last week's video, the scale came in. That was actually last night. I just edited it finally, and my recordings from last night, and had some pretty bad reactions. I had no idea that I was weighing 485 pounds. I was pretty depressed about that last night. First reaction, I don't want to eat anything. I just want to sit there, I'll watch TV. I turned the TV on, it was Dr. Oz, actually. I was like, wow. Well, at least he's saying good information.
There's some irony there.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, wow, the channel. I didn't change it. It was there. It was Dr. Oz. He was talking about whole wheat. I'm like, oh, I know about whole wheat. And he's talking about exercise. Oh, I know about exercise. And he talked about compression underwear. I'm like, I don't know what compression underwear is.
Moving on.
Yeah. So you can't live without it. So, hi, Dr. Oz.
And let's talk about the exercise piece.
I've gotten better at the exercise. I've gotten to the gym 4 times this week. I've walked at lunch 2 times. I think I said 2 or 3. 2 or 3 times. I can't remember exactly.
But the gym time really made the difference.
Yeah. The gym time, it helps out a lot.
So all in all, those 4 days, having for the whole days, each day you got at least a half hour of exercise.
Exercise.
Total exercise.
Yeah.
Great. That's really, really good compared to where you were last week.
That's true.
It's a huge improvement.
Yeah.
So I think this week was kind of a turning point for you a little bit, because the whole thing with the scale coming in, and you upped your workout, and you didn't eat. You made like a huge shift in your normal patterns, and that's a huge accomplishment. Pat yourself on the back for that, because it takes a tremendous amount of willpower when you're that upset. Been there. I get that. When I stress, I want to eat as well. It's a very, very hard psychological barrier, and you broke it. So
it's going to keep breaking it.
Yeah. Well, no. You'll get there, but I think you went from little steps the last few weeks, and you just took a big one. And give yourself credit for that.
A big step right on the scale.
Yeah. Well, and what it also was, and we talked about this a little while ago, is it's now more urgent than it was ever before.
Big time. That's a lot of weight, and I'm carrying around. My knees alone are probably screaming every day, and I'm not paying attention to them.
And his foot is.
My foot is actually hurt. It's been hurting all week, and so
he's going to get that taken care of.
I'm going to try. Yeah.
So all in all, and he also said that we hadn't had a scale for the last 2 or 3 weeks, so we didn't really know if he was losing weight. And but one thing you did mention to me was you saw it in your face recently, so we think you have lost weight.
Some people have mentioned it, and we'll try to go through the videos and see if it really exists. But I always lose weight in the face first, and we'll see if possibly we could tell from that. But we didn't know how much weight. I could have weighed 500 pounds when we started this. Who knows? Yeah. But the actual starting weight we're going to go with is going to be 485. That's what we just documented. That's what we know is there. And we're going to see where it goes from there. Yeah. So let's talk about nutritional labels.
Alrighty.
So I'm sick and tired of talking about that.
So let's see. So this week is all about how to read nutritional labels. Critical piece for people who are trying to lose weight, because the manufacturers know just enough to be dangerous for you. In other words, if you go in there and they know you've heard the word fiber as a soundbite somewhere, they're going to put fiber in something crappy like, Fruit Loops. So by knowing what you're looking at, you can get around the manufacturer's tricks. And I think the biggest thing we learned, and you want me to show this one?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk macaroni and cheese, okay? Not good for you. I'm using it as an example. So I can't show this, you can't see it, but what it says on the package for total fat is 3 grams, 1.5 saturated. Well, next to that 3 grams, there's a little asterisk. And he had said, what do you mean by food prepared? What does that mean? And I said, well, because I talked about as prepared. He says, what is as prepared? I don't understand what that is on the label. And I said, go down the label, and it says here, amount in box, 65% vegetable oil spread, and 2% reduced fat milk preparation adds 12 grams of fat per serving.
Wow. And she was actually shocked when she read that.
The first time.
Just
I
right
saw
now,
this.
we took the box out. We're like, 12 grams? Come on.
When I first saw this back in the day when I was starting to read labels, and I've seen it on other things besides mac and cheese, this is just a glaring example. It's frustrating, and I get angry because I feel like shame on you, Kraft, for doing that. But that's the game, right? That's the game to sell products, and they know that, because they know if they put 12 grams of fat here, no one's going to buy it, because people are now starting to look at labels. So it's a trick that a lot of manufacturers use, particularly when you have to, pre-made foods like this that you have to add things to, particularly butter or milk. These aren't the kind of foods that I recommend people eating, but people do, and sometimes they think they're doing better than they really are. On the other side of the package, it's very interesting. It says light prep. 65% less fat and 20% fewer calories if you only use 2 teaspoons unsalted butter and a half a cup of fat-free milk. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's on the other side of the box.
Yeah, and the recipe calls for 4 tablespoons of butter.
Yeah, it's crazy. So right away, you take those 12 grams of fat and cut it way down just by using, 2 teaspoons of butter and milk. But that's not what they're, so really it's so complicated. They've made it so complicated that if you don't know what you're doing, you don't understand. That this would be hard for your average person to understand. Really what they're going to look at is see the 3 grams of fat. Oh, it's not that bad. I can have the whole box. That type of thing. So be really careful about foods like this. Like I said, I don't recommend you eat them at all, but people do, so I'm not going to try to, tell people they're never going to have this kind of stuff. But if you do, just beware of the damage you're going to do if you go by the full fat recipe. So that's really what I want him to understand, because he's learned a lot about food labels up till now, but these little tweaks that the manufacturers trick you with, that's what people don't know about.
Yeah, and the first things I had to learn when I first started losing weight, you'll see in the older videos, is serving size. I'd go to Trader Joe's, I'd get something prepared, and it said, 150 calories. Oh, 150 calories, that's great. This big old thing is 150 calories. I didn't look at the serving size. It was 4 servings. When you look at this, I just realized, when we're talking about this is 2.5 servings. So at 12 grams of fat down here, as prepared, is that times 2.5, 24, 26, whatever it is.
I think it's close to 30.
That's a lot
crazy.
of fat. Yeah, that's a lot of fat. That's more than you want in one day. And if you eat the whole box. And I knew people that eat the whole box. You're out there. Anyway. So yeah, my first lesson was serving size. I learned that one. I knew where to look for that. What I didn't know was as prepared. And I don't do too many as prepared things. Because we should honestly be cooking at home anyway. It's a lot easier to control what goes in. The last thing that I needed to pay attention to was, definitely sodium. I have high blood pressure. That's one of my only problems I have with my blood. I have good cholesterol, no diabetes, but the blood pressure is pretty bad. So sodium intake, and my doctor knows. She's going to my doctor's going to go crazy when she hears I'm 485. I don't know what she's going to do.
She didn't put you on the scale.
No,
Okay.
but they did put me on the scale. Guess what? It didn't go high enough. Yeah. They didn't have a scale at the doctor's office that could weigh me. And that was, if they did, I probably would have been a lot more serious about this even before December. I was eating all kinds of shit in December, excuse my language, but it's true. Then ingredients. That was the thing. I didn't know about enriched wheat flour. Enriched wheat flour, guess what? That's white bread. And this great little chart back here for nutritional labeling. This is a great little reference to understand daily values, what I should be looking for, the maximum of what I'm eating.
Basically, it's based on a 200-calorie a day diet, which obviously doesn't apply for everyone.
2,000.
Excuse me, I meant to say 2,000.
Yeah, 200 calories a day. Just have yourself an apple and go to bed.
2,000 calories a day. So it's not an exact for everybody, because obviously not everyone has that kind of a diet, but it gives you some kind of estimate of the amounts of foods that you can intake. Like, it shows you that you really do need a lot of fiber and you really do need a lot of fat. It's what the fat, is. You need, fats from like olive oil and avocado, not the saturated/trans fats. So it's just something to look at to kind of understand, oh, well, now I kind of see the balance that has to happen in order to have the healthy diet.
And for me, it's kind of a good goal to start shooting towards. I mean, when she started me out on this program, she started me on 4,000 calories. That's double these numbers here in this book. And that was good because I needed to eat a lot, and I needed to get used to these kind of foods, the whole wheat everything, the whole wheat bread, which I kind of like, honestly, because you eat them and you're not hungry as often. And I know people say that all the time about things, but honestly, this is the first time I really ate something, and of course I ate a lot of it, and I wasn't that hungry throughout the day because I wouldn't stop eating, honestly. I'd have boiled eggs, fruit, I'd have little snacks of baked Lays all throughout the day, and I just felt like I was eating all the time. Now that week 4 is around, we need to start portioning back a little bit. I've been eating a lot of food. I've been telling you on the videos. I mean, I feel like a pig. I'm eating constantly.
And I haven't said anything about it because I really wanted him to get adjusted to the new foods before we dealt with the calorie issue. So that's why in prior videos I didn't mention that was a lot. I just wanted him to kind of get used to it, get comfortable. And he actually came to me and said, I don't think I need this much food.
Yeah.
And I don't think he does.
Yeah.
But now he's adjusted. Now he kind of knows what to do. And so that's like the next step for him is to try to reduce it. And I'm not going to reduce it to 2,000. Right. I'm going to reduce it by a significant amount, but I'm not going to go crazy because that'll cause you to be hungry and we don't want to get there. So we need to find some balance of the foods that you can eat, and we're far away from getting you down to a normal diet because of the size. And as you get smaller, obviously your diet needs will change, and we'll just take that, week by week. But for now, we will probably reduce the caloric intake and see how that goes. And I'm so excited that you're loving the foods and you're adjusting to them so well, which is great.
Then I like breaking at 10:30 and at 3:30 every day and eating something. It helps out when you get to the time when it's mealtime that you're not like, oh, I gotta eat, and you just want to pig out on something really big. By the time you get there, you're like, oh, I'm hungry, I should eat. I'm a little hungry, or I start getting hungry. But I'm not like starving, and I'm like I'm gonna eat 4 cheeseburgers. And go crazy. But it really helps out a lot to snack on the right foods, of course. And the Fiber One bars help out a lot too with cravings. The chocolate kind of, for me, this is personal. Some people don't like chocolate. You guys are crazy. But
it is true though, because some people chocolate's not it. For some people, it's something else, a salt craving, or everyone has their vices and what they really like. His is chocolate, which is a lot of people's, and so some people may say, oh, those Fiber One bars have all that other stuff in them. Well, they might, but is it better than going out and getting a Hershey's bar? Yeah.
Not just Hershey's bar. We're talking when I would hit Jack in the Box, like after work, it would be a Jumbo Jack and a chicken sandwich.
Oh my gosh.
And like a soda or something. Maybe some onion rings too.
And he just replaced all that with a single fiber bar.
Yeah. Doing good.
Yeah, he's doing great. Yeah. He's doing great. I was a little nervous last week because I know the exercise piece wasn't in place, and I was getting nervous that you kind of weren't very motivated. And I thought, well, let's just see how the week goes. You knew what you needed to do, and you did it. And you did it within a little bit of a crisis mode.
Yeah, at the end of the week.
Yeah. So, kudos to Zach. He had a great week. And if he continues on this path, I think great things are going to happen. I really do. I think you're doing really well. So we're going to sit down and get into more detail about this. But if Zach tweets about this or you see the YouTube video, give him kudos because he's done really well. And he's going to continue to do well if he stays on this track. So, yay for Zach.
All right. We'll see you.
Bye.